When the turtle crawled onto the shore, normally timid pigeons thought there was no reason to be afraid this time. Big mistake. The turtle took advantage of being allowed within striking distance and lunged at the bird. With a single bite, the reptile broke the pigeon's neck. The other birds were in shock. Hippos are herbivorous beasts weighing about 3 tons, which usually leisurely graze in shallow water or on the banks of rivers and lakes. However, these giants with round barrel bodies and thick, smooth skin can shock with their behavior. The thing is, hippos are territorial aggressors who hate it most in the world when they are disturbed. They often attack predators that hunt in their territory, but that doesn't really mean that hippos are benevolent defenders of herbivores. On the contrary, they don't care about other animals. They just don't like unnecessary noise. Here, a numerous herd of zebras was crossing the river. During their journey, a crocodile noticed them, rushed towards the herd, and managed to catch one zebra. The striped herbivore resisted the opponent, but the reptile's jaw strength was incredible. Although the zebra outweighed the crocodile in body mass, it couldn't break free from its grip. The zebra resisted, but the crocodile slowly dragged it further away from the shore. Suddenly, an enraged hippopotamus approached the adversaries. The crocodile was shocked by such an intrusion because its usual attack scene causes panic among other herbivores. The zebra was surprised too. Could this really be its hero? Not at all. The noisy sounds of the struggle just irritated the hippo, so it decided to put an end to it. The huge and powerful hippo rushed at the entangled crocodile and zebra. All 3 disappeared underwater, but only the hippo resurfaced. What did it do to them under the cover of murky water? We can only guess, but clearly nothing good. The bite force of a hippo is so great that it can crush motorboats. Don't mess with and irritate them. A similar story happened here, but we see the actions of the hippo. A young and mighty lion was hunting a gazelle. It knew the herbivore was too fast, so it set up an ambush on the edge of a swamp, hoping the frightened prey would run into the marsh and get stuck there. Initially, everything happened as planned. The gazelle got scared and ran exactly where it was advantageous for the lion, but it underestimated the agility of its opponent, which managed to run far away from the shore before getting stuck. The lion had a drink, watched how far the gazelle was, and was about to wet its paws when it noticed the hippopotamus. Although the lion was young, it still backed off. It was the right decision, because the hippo was clearly not in the best mood. A smaller hippo followed it. Apparently, they were together. For them, this swamp was not impassable. Massive and super strong hippos calmly walked through the mud, from which the gazelle could not really escape, crying as if calling for help. It's a pity. The herbivore didn't know who it was dealing with. The enraged male didn't want any cries to ruin his date. For him, this swamp was like a beach, and he came to relax with his female. So the male hippo headed straight for the gazelle, which probably hoped to be pulled out of the mud. In short, yes, it will be pulled out, but in the most brutal way. The angry hippo rams the gazelle, bites it, and drowns it, and then effortlessly lifts it, tearing it from the mud. It no longer makes noise, having suffered multiple internal injuries. But if the hippo is in a bad mood, it will not calm down so quickly and easily. Another fierce blow pulls the herbivore out of the mud, and the hippo smashes its head against the surface of the swamp, shaking it from side to side, breaking its spine, neck, and legs. Provoking the anger of this giant was a fatal mistake. The lion is probably glad it retreated far away from this scene. Hyena-like dogs were hunting a gazelle. This is not easy, as the herbivore is incredibly fast. The dogs chased the gazelle into a swamp at the edge of a small lake. The prey's legs got stuck, and it lost its mobility. The fast dogs took advantage of the opportunity and attacked their prey. They managed to knock it off its feet and clamped onto it from different sides with their toothy jaws. The thing is, both the predators and their prey didn't know that they had staged their showdown in the most unfortunate place they could find. Hippos live near the shores of the pond. The enraged monster, the weight of a car, rushes into the battle. First, the hippo charged the dogs and blocked the gazelle with its body. The herbivore was freed from the grip of the predators, but moved towards deeper mud and got stuck. This was a fatal mistake. It couldn't free itself. The gazelle pretended to be a twig, making no sound and staying still as the hippo sniffed around. And that saved her. The hippopotamus laid down in the mud to rest. However, the dogs gathered courage and attempted to pull the prey out of the mud again, right under the giant's nose. This truly infuriated him. The hippopotamus understood that it couldn't reach the dogs. They were too agile, quickly dodging the giant. So the mighty giant tried to reach the gazelle. At first it didn't work, but the situation repeated. The dogs descended to their prey again to retrieve it from the mud. And this annoyed the hippo. It wasn't afraid of the dogs, they just irritated him. The 3-ton beast decided that if it couldn't catch the predators, maybe they would leave it if they took their prey. The hippo pounced on the gazelle, grabbed it with its jaws, and violently shook it from side to side. At that moment, the dogs were in shock. One can't help but wonder, is the hippo really a vegetarian? With its powerful jaws, it broke almost all the bones in the gazelle's body. In its mouth, the gazelle turned into a rag. Then the hippo threw its still-living herbivore under the paws of the dogs. They were not expecting such a gift. With caution and wariness, what if it's a trap? They approached and started dragging the gazelle towards themselves. The hippo allowed them to take the prey. The gazelle was still moving, but could not resist. Perhaps with its behavior, the hippo surprised both the gazelle and the dogs, but with different outcomes. However, the bravery of the wild dogs and their ability to find their advantage even in close encounters with a 3-ton monster deserves your like, I would think, don't they? A surveillance camera captured an amusing incident. A fox sneaked onto a farm to feast on local chickens. But the German shepherds noticed the red one and thought they would easily catch the intruder. They rushed at it, hoping to immediately knock it to the ground and sink their fangs into its throat. But they didn't know who they were dealing with. It seems the fox prepared for the encounter and planned its escape route in advance. It deceived the shepherds, confused them, then turned around and ran between them, literally leaping out of the jaws of the opponents. The shepherds chased further, but the fox made an impressive jump and almost leaped over the fence where it was already too high for the more massive dog. It was not worth underestimating such an agile opponent and rushing at it simultaneously from one side. If they had surrounded or cut off its escape routes, the fox would have been doomed, but instead it easily escaped the pursuit in a matter of seconds. Kangals are a breed of dog known for their incredible strength. Several Kangals can take down a bear. Just the sight of such a frightening, massive, and dangerous dog should induce hysteria even in smaller wild animals, but not really in this fox right here. The Kangal threatens it, barks, lunges, but the fox doesn't care. This fluffy little troublemaker should not have been underestimated at all. Of course, in a fight against a huge dog, it will not last 3 seconds. However, the clever fox can clearly see that the Kangal is chained to its kennel. So the furry wild predator calmly sits right in front of its enemy's muzzle and even turns away. as if demonstrating its contempt. And moreover, the fox carefully explores the length of the train. It provokes the kennel to attack, observes how far the enemy can move away from the kennel, and tighten the chain. In the end, the fox calmly circles around the dog, looks for food, and ignores the kennel as if it's just a noisy little cheeky puppy. When parents sense a threat to their children, their reaction is entirely unpredictable. In this video, the female raccoon demonstrated wonders of courage. At some point, the raccoon mother with her offspring noticed a lynx lurking in the bushes. Initially, the animals watched and sniffed each other, and then the lynx made a sudden lunge towards the mother with her cubs. But she didn't lose her composure, stood up in defense of her offspring, and chased away the lynx. An eyewitness noted that part of the confrontation was actually left off camera. In the end, the enraged mother drove the lynx into a swamp, from which it barely managed to escape. The raccoon female won the battle for her cubs. Elephants. In case of danger, all wild animals step up to protect their offspring, including African elephants. Moreover, the largest terrestrial animals sometimes act proactively. For instance, a herd of elephants encountered a pack of hyena-like dogs. The elephants immediately assumed a defensive position and emitted intimidating sounds, causing the opponents to flee. Elephant mothers and their relatives will fight anyone attempting to harm a calf in their herd. Mothers always protect their children, and animals are no exception. Once in Zambia, a female elephant trampled a crocodile to death in front of tourists, thinking that it could potentially threaten her offspring. The female elephant, acting in defense of her progeny, is highly aggressive, attacking the enemy not only with tusks and a trunk, but also with her massive legs. An adult female elephant can weigh from 2,700 to 3,600 kilograms. So the crocodile really had no chance of survival. By the way, those who haven't learned not to mess with moms often suffer themselves. This large grizzly bear spotted prey, a puma kitten. The bear initially thought it had found a tasty meal. Grizzlies are also very dangerous, but not in this case. The puma is quite a serious cat and won't allow anyone to harm her cub. Claws and sharp teeth come into play here. The intense struggle ended with the grizzly, significantly larger than the wildcat, having to retreat. Maternal instinct is a powerful thing. Protecting one's child is one of the primary instincts in females. When cheetah mothers sense danger to their cubs, they transport them. They do this one by one to a safe place, holding them firmly but gently by the scruff. The cubs don't resist and patiently endure such relocation. Lions and hyenas often attack cheetah cubs not for food, but to eliminate a food competitor. In such cases, the cheetah mother initiates the attack first. Hunters redirect their attention from the cubs to the mother, and a counterattack ensues. Considering the cheetah's speed, predators have no chance of catching the brave mother. But it takes enough time for the cubs to escape or hide. The cheetah mother may continue these attacks until her cubs are safe. This tactic is nearly ineffective if there are more than two attacking predators. A pack of wolves, for example, hyenas, or lions will achieve their goal. This courageous cat undeniably deserves the title of Mother Hero. To save her cubs, she fearlessly confronted a huge python, hissing and actively fending it off. Risking her life, she attempts to rescue her kittens. It may seem like the video is purposely edited, yet both the cat and the reptile here are pretty real. And the mother's reaction to the snake attack is genuine. Animals can go to great lengths when their offspring are in danger. Many animals exhibit a radical change in behavior after giving birth. This means they become much bolder. A wildebeest and its calf, engrossed in grazing, stray away from the herd. They are unaware that a cheetah is nearby, waiting for an opportune moment. The predator springs from hiding and attacks the calf. But the mother reacts instantly, delivering a horned headbutt, freeing the cheetah's grip on the cub. Both escape closer to the herd, leaving the cheetah without its day's meal. The cheetah likely needs time to recover from such a powerful blow. Mothers are ready to stand firm for their children, and in this video, this ordinary hen confirms that. Just watch how the brave mother fearlessly protects her chicks from a king cobra. The hen has been walking around with her chicks, and then the cobra appears. Royal cobras apparently enjoy feasting on small chicks. The mother hen notices it, emitting loud warning clucks and strutting around her chicks. The hen is not as simple as it seems. She spreads her wings, fluffs her feathers to appear larger, chucks loudly, and boldly attacks the cobra. She doesn't allow the snake to approach the chicks and stands in its way like a shield. The situation seems hopeless. The snake refuses to retreat, but in the end, it just gives up. Perhaps it decided that the effort wasn't worth the trouble. Thanks to the strong maternal instinct of this brooding hen, all the chicks remain alive. Here's some more incredible footage of brave parents from the bird family. This time, we're featuring geese. Whoever lives or used to go to the countryside knows what geese are, how they hiss and they peck legs. Geese aggressively attack anyone approaching their nest or their chicks. A fox discovered a pair of geese with a brood of goslings in the swamp. Just watch how one of the parents, spreading its wings wide, attempts to protect its offspring from the cunning predator. The fox darts around. It desires to feast on the little goslings, but the goose here hisses, flaps its wings, and prevents the fox from getting any closer. After a while, the fox gives up on approaching these cute, fluffy goslings. This creature is quite large. Buffalo may reach up to 180 centimeters in height, with a body mass of around a ton. In a fight, a buffalo can put up a worthy resistance against a lion. Lions hunt weak individuals such as calves and females. Mothers will fight for their offspring, launching ferocious attacks to protect their progeny. They are ready to fight to the death, defending their young ones. Therefore, fluffy predators have a tough time. Buffalo horns can cause serious injuries, tossing the big cat several meters back. Hooves are also not idle, generously delivering blows left and right. And don't forget that buffaloes are herd animals. Cute dogs cease to be so when it comes to the safety of their offspring. In an instant, a domestic sweetheart turns into an aggressive animal. If you try to harm her puppies, the parental reaction will be immediate. And this is simply admirable. And admit it, the way a mother dog selflessly attacks the offender is truly inspiring. Whether small or large, these animal mothers do everything possible to say no to predators and ensure the safety of their children. Now this is truly worthy of your likes. Have you ever witnessed animal mothers defending their children? Let us know in the comment section.